Sachar. Alright, I will read the chapter 1. Chapter 1, Tuesday, November 2nd, 11:55 a.m. Woodridge Academy, a private school in Heathcliff, Pennsylvania, had once been the home of William Heath, after whom the town had been named. Nearly 300 students now attended school in the four-story black and brown stone building where William Heath had lived from 1891 to 1917 with only his wife and 3 daughters. Kamaya Dilwadi's fifth grade classroom in the fourth floor had been the youngest daughter's bedroom. The kindergarten area had once been the stable. The lunchrooms used to be a grand ballroom and were elegantly dressed. Couples had sipped champagne and danced to a live orchestra. Crystal chandeliers still hung from the ceiling, but these days the room permanently smelled of stable. Macaroni and cheese. The 289 kids, ages 5 to 14, crammed their mouths with Cheetos, made jokes after boogers, spilled milk, and shrieked for no apparent reason. Tama didn't shrink, but she did gasp very quietly as she covered her mouth with her hand. He's got this super long beard, a boy was saying, splashed all over with blood. And no teeth, another boy added. They were boys from the upper grades. Tamaya felt excited just talking to them, although so far she had been too nervous to actually say anything. She was sitting in the middle of the long table eating lunch with her friends Monica, Hope, and Summer. One of the older boy's legs was only an inch away from hers. The guy can't chew his own food, said the first boy, so his dogs have to chew it up for him. The guy can chew his own food, said the first boy, so his dogs have to chew it up for him. Then they spit it out and then he eats it. That is so disgusting, exclaimed Monica. But from the way her eyes shone when she said it, Tamaya could tell that her best friend was just as excited as she was to have the attention of the older boys. The boys had been telling the girls about the deranged hermit who lived in the woods. Tamara didn't believe half of what they said. She knew boys liked to show off. Still, it was fun to let herself get caught up in it. They are not really dogs, said the boy sitting next to Tamaya. They are they are more like wolves, big and black with giant fangs and glowing red eyes. Tamaya shuddered. Woodridge Academy was surrounded by miles of woods and rocky hills. Tamaya walked to school every morning with Marshall Walls, a seventh grade boy who lived 3 houses down from her and on the other side of their tree-lined street. Their walk was almost 2 miles long, but it would have been a lot shorter if they hadn't had to circle around the woods. So, what does he eat? Asked Samar. The boy next to Tamaya shrugged. Whatever his wolves bring him, he said. Squirrels, rares, people, he doesn't care, just so long as it's food. The boy took a big bite of his tuna fish sandwich, then imitated the hermit by curling his lips so that it looked like he didn't have any teeth. He opened and closed his mouth in an exaggerated manner, showing Tamaya his partially chewed food. "You are so gross," exclaimed Samar from the other side of Tamaya. All the boys laughed. Summer was the prettiest of Tamaya's friends, with straw colored hair and sky blue eyes. Tamaya figured that was probably the reason the boys were talking to them in the first place. Boys were always acting silly around Summer. Tamaya didn't dark Tamaya had dark eyes and dark hair that hung only where I am halfway down her neck. It used to be a lot longer, but 3 days before school started, while she was still in Philadelphia with her dad, she made the drastic decision to chop it off. Her dad took her to a very posh hair salon that he probably couldn't afford. As soon as she got it cut, she was filled with regret. But when she got back to Heathcliff, her friends all told her how mature and sophisticated she looked. Her parents were divorced. She spent most of the summer with her dad and one weekend each month during the school year. Philadelphia was on the opposite end of the state, 300 miles away. When she returned home to Heathcliff, she always had the feeling that she'd missed something important while she'd been gone. It might have been nothing more than an inside joke that her friends all laughed at, but she always felt a little laughed out. It took her a while to get back into the groove. "He came this close to eating me," said one of the boys, a tough-looking kid with short black hair and square face. "A wolf snapped at my legs just as I was climbing back over the fence." The boy stood on top of the bench and showed the girls his pant leg for proof. It was covered in dirt that Tamaya could see a small hole just above his sneaker. But that could have come from another. Besides, she thought, if he would been running away from the wolf, then the hole would have been in the back of his pants, not the front. The boy stared down at her. He had blue, steel-like eyes, and Tama got the feeling that he could read her mind and was steering her to say something. She swallowed, then said, "You are not really allowed in the woods." But the boy laughed, and then the other boys laughed too. "What are you going to do?" he challenged. "Tell Miss Taxton?" She felt her face red. And "No, don't listen to her," said Hope. "Tamaya's a real goody two-shoes." The words stung. Just a few seconds earlier, she had been feeling so cool talking with the older boys. Now they were all looking at her as if she were some kind of freak. She tried making a joke out of it. I guess I will only wear one shoe from now on. Nobody laughed. You are kind of goody-goody, said Monica. Tama bit her lip. She didn't get why what she had said had been so wrong. After all, Monica and Summer had just called the boys disgusting and gross, but somehow that was okay. If anything, the boys seemed proud that the girls thought they were disgusting and gross. When did the rules change? She wondered. When did it become bad to be good? Across the lunchroom, Marshall Wall sat amid a lunch of kids, all laughing and talking loudly. On one side of Marshall sat one group. On his other side sat a different group. Between these two groups, Marshall silently ate alone. Bye guys. I'll make another video later where I will end this one.